Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. Well, if the lighting seems a little bit murky, it's because we're about to go dark. I'm happy to unveil the newest feature on our channel, which is going to be a Lume extravaganza. The Lume extravaganzas are all about getting a sense of the color and brightness of the watches that we bring to you in the sporting category, and every once in a while a versatile dress watch. So without any further delay, I give you the Rolex Maxi Dial Supercase Sub-C reference 116619LB and an A-Series 16610. Avert your eyes. I knew that 400 lumen bike light would come in handy one day. And there you have it. Now you can see on the right the 5-digit and on the left the 6-digit. Not just vastly larger in terms of lume plot area on the 6-digit, you'll also note the use of Rolex's proprietary blue Chromalight luminescent material. It really changes the look of the watch, and as blue is said to be the last color to fade from vision as depth increases, makes a lot of sense on a dive watch, but in any case it's more legible simply because it is so much bigger. Historically important to note that the Maxi Dial debuted on the Yachtmaster in 1992 and joined the Submariner catalog in 2003 with the LV anniversary model. Now from Rolex, we jump to Omega. And in this case, it's a matchup of classics from the turn of the millennium. You have the James Bond 2531.80, and you have the Broadsword Iridescent reference 2231.80. Titanium steel, Broadsword, Maxi, printed plots, skeleton. Let's supercharge these contenders, and frankly I don't think this one's even going to be a battle. Yeah, the Bond can scarcely put up a fight against the supernova of that 2231. It's simply a more functional utility watch, and as a dive watch, succeeds on every count. It's as spectacular in the dark as it is in the light, thanks to the combination of that iridescent blue dial and the immense indices and broadsword hands. Let there be light once more. And now I have a watch that is quite possibly in a class by itself. Within this category of Omega Seamaster Professional Diver, they don't come any bigger or more extreme than the Ploprof. This is the Seamaster Professional 1200, the 2009 re-edition, so bigger, bolder, with a fully lumed sapphire capped bezel. This, quite frankly, is going to be spectacular. Bring in the bike light, charge it up. Yeah, that right there is a UFO at ground level. An absolutely spectacular image. It's entertaining. It's not just functional. It's actually amusing in and of itself. It's an attraction and a novelty, and probably worth the price of admission by itself. If you have the wrist to pull off this immense SSBN-sized dive watch, you're going to have one heck of a light show when the lights go down. Now, what would a lume shot contest be without Panerai? And I'm happy to say that I have 3 great ones. The PAM 368 Destro in titanium, you know. Yesterday I reviewed the little giant, the Luminor Marina PAM 48 40mm. Now it's important to note that both of those watches are super Luminova. The 368 with the sandwich dial, that is the stencil atop a fully lumed disc that is the Panerai signature, but the PAM 48 features what's known as the sausage dial, which features applied painted indices in Arabic numerals, so it doesn't have the depth of the sandwich, but it is regarded as having greater luminescence. You're going to get to be the judge. For good measure, I'm including an original tritium dial Luminor submersible PAM25D series. 15 years after its construction, it's already passed through one 12.5-year half-life of the tritium luminescent material. So I'm going to charge them up and then see what kind of reaction we get from the sandwich, from the sausage, and from the printed dot tritium dial. So not just different styles of dial, but different materials on the dial. Okay. And now we find out. As you can see, the PAM48, like I said, a little giant, holds its own against the immense dial of the PAM368. Now, considering the PAM48 is the obvious option for those like myself who are slight of wrist, it's good to know that you get a smaller watch, but you don't get a smaller visual impact when the lights dim. Now, for those who may be considering a older tritium dial Panerai, you can see that the PAM25 has just about gone dark, the only exception being the Luminova pip atop the dive bezel itself. Interesting to note, those were constructed subsequently for service purposes from Super Luminova, so every once in a while you get a luminescent pip atop an otherwise faded tritium patina dial. Again, tritium for beauty when the lights are on, not for practicality when the lights go out. And although they waited until 1967 to launch their first dive watch, and in the modern era they're best known for big pilots and Portuguese dress watches, IWC of Schaffhausen nevertheless gives us something worth talking about. Now, this is the Aquatimer 2000, and like the Ploprof that we just saw, it has sapphire over a luminescent bezel, so when this one charges up, it's quite spectacular. Plus, you don't need the wrist of the Hulk. No, not the watch the Hulk, the wrist of the Hulk to pull this one off like you do with the Ploprof. Charging up and fading out. As you can see, fully luminescent, it's spectacular to see, but it's also intelligently laid out. You have a different color for the first critical 15 minutes of your dive, plus the minute hand, which will be aligned with the diving bezel, has the corresponding Luminova color so that everything matches up. And this one, not just spectacular to see, highly practical. It's the epitome of the IWC tool watch mentality, beautifully executed, again, in any light. It's also interesting to note how this cool grayscale Aquatimer becomes incredibly colorful when the light goes out. But I would be remiss if I didn't have at least one representative from high horology. Not a dive watch, but a true sports watch with 150-meter water resistance and robust anti-magnetic capabilities thanks to a soft iron inner cage. This is the second generation Vacheron Constantin Overseas Automatic, reference 47040. So this is the outgoing Overseas, but it's going to go out with a bang. Charging up. And lighting up. As you can see, the Overseas, high horology, but awesome in low and no light conditions. A true dress watch in spite of its haute de gamme roots. This is one that's ready to trade blows with the true divers. And heck, compared to that PAM25 we just saw, maybe trade a knockout blow. So this has been the first of our Lume Extravaganza features, and frankly, if you see anything on our website, let me know. I'll post up a Lume shot. This is the easiest feature I've ever filmed for our channel, and I'm happy to say I have an almost unlimited supply of ammunition for new episodes,